Welcome back to Naturally Speaking. I'm your host, Dr. Kerith Powell, chiropractor at Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies. And I'm joined by Dr. Crescinda Morgan, naturopath at Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies. This show highlights some interesting people that are doing interesting things in our community. And I know I speak for Dr. Morgan when I say that we are grateful that you're spending your time with us.
We work together to bring content that we know you'll enjoy and benefit from. That's the most important thing. So if there's something special you're looking for, you want us to do, you need to let us know. You can find out how to reach us by watching to the end of this show, get the information, get the website and such. But right now, let's get on with the show.
Welcome to Naturally Speaking, brought to you by Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies and BR Media Solutions. In this episode, we will continue our conversation about essential fatty acids, and we'll be joined by Councilman Roger Marmol. Now, he is one of the 3 youngest city councilmen in the entire state of Georgia, and he's a really exciting person to speak to. I hope you stick around for that interview. Welcome back. With us now, Snellville City Councilman Roger Marmol. Roger, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Mr. Marmol, you are one of the youngest city councilmen in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
Yes. How does that make you feel?
To me, age is really irrelevant. It's almost a non-factor because it's more intellect and how the individuals present themselves and perform their duties when they're elected in office. Mm-hmm. So it's really, I feel normal, I guess.
Right, yeah. But your age is certainly an inspiration, I'm sure.
I definitely agree with that. Some people, individuals in high school or in college, I go speak at certain things and then they'll see me and they're like, oh, he's really young, so they can kind of relate more versus someone who's much more older, I guess. Mm-hmm. And but it definitely has its pros and cons in politics. Pros are, well, it's a good variable to have, I guess, because it shows almost like forward thinking or progress for politics or a city. Mm-hmm. Some negatives, though, are somewhat overlooked sometimes, mm-hmm. or they're like, oh, he's young, he doesn't really know anything, that kind of mindset. Yeah. So there are some negatives that come along with it, but I'm fine.
Yeah, no, you must be doing something right. You won your seat, and from what I understand, your opponent spent quite a bit of money.
Yes, they spent close to around $50,000, and we spent right at, I think it was $4,400 or $4,500. Mm-hmm. So we were really outmatched on funds, and we knew that from the beginning.
Right.
That was going to happen. But ours was traditional, sweat equity, door to door, for about 5-6 months every weekend, door to door, mm-hmm. door to door, and that's how we got it.
So you got to know the city.
Oh yeah,
very well.
Yeah, we really got to know what the issues were in this neighborhood or that neighborhood because we were talking to the people door to door, and then they would tell us what was going on and that kind of stuff. So we really mm-hmm. knew, I guess, the pulse of the city as a whole.
Fantastic. And when you decided to run for this position, did you have something in mind that you wanted to accomplish already?
Yes, there was a few things. One was a revamp of the ordinances because I read through them and they were already outdated and stagnating growth in the city. Second thing was downtown center development because it had been talked about and preached about for 10 plus years, but nothing was really getting done on it. So that was the second thing. And third thing was try to make the community better. And by that I mean help increase property values, bring new infrastructure to the city, bring development into the city that has been, for the past couple of years, was leaving the city and going to other ones, mainly because of the politics of the city, and it was very negative at the time and that kind of stuff. So mm-hmm. it was a bunch of stuff. I put probably too much content. A consultant would say it was too much content for the website, but I really wanted to write my stuff on there and put as much as I could out there.
Yeah.
But
But people seem to appreciate that.
yeah,
Because they rewarded you with their vote.
yes.
Yes. And so now that you're in city government, do you see your dreams or goals, the things that you had set out to accomplish, getting closer?
Yes, the ordinances were actually in the final draft now, so we should probably be voting it early next year. The downtown center development is definitely in the works. We're talking about putting the new library basically right across where the police station is at,
Yes.
with like parking and stuff, and it's like a 2-story kind of marketplace, kind of like Ponds type setup.
Okay.
We're trying to get redevelopment in the area, but that's kind of hard because a lot of it's owned by individuals, so it's hard to persuade them to put money into the property to make it even better.
Mhm.
So that one will be ongoing, but it's definitely in the works.
It's in the works, yeah. How do you, what would you consider to be the center of the city as far as family activity goes? Would it be the downtown by City Hall or Briscoe Park, or?
Both Briscoe Park and right by City Hall.
Mhm.
That town green that was built just this year, I guess early this year, it was finished.
Yes. Mhm.
Those 2 spots is basically where the city events end up happening.
Oh, okay. And Snellville does a great farmers market,
Yes.
awesome farmers market. What other activities do we have? Do we have movie night, concert night?
So the concerts are basically, most of them are basically at the town green,
Mhm.
and they're kind of seasonal, depends on what's going on, but it kind of goes with the events. So we'll have like jazz nights sometimes we'll have some rock bands, so it changes. It's
Mhm.
more through the Snellville Tourism and Trade Association. They kind of coordinate those events.
Okay, okay. But they invite you.
Oh yeah, we're definitely like, we keep eyes on what's going on
Yeah.
and stuff. So
The last event I went to, it was huge, and it was right after, unfortunately, the incident in Dallas with the
was it
police officers.
where all the churches came
Mhm.
together?
Yes.
Okay, yes,
Yeah, and that was special.
it was.
Yes. Well, besides politics, what are your interests? What do you do?
I like painting.
Okay.
My minor was studio art, so I love art in general, and in all its forms, whether it's painting, sculpture, modeling, photography, video editing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love art in general. So I'm always doing like side projects, and not a lot of people know, but I do all these little side things on the side.
Yeah.
And but maybe I'll pursue it more in the future or something. But right now it's just kind of like a side thing.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Well,
Like, what are some of those things that you pursue that are that you find this interest in?
well, I do some painting, but it's almost more contemporary, so it's
Mhm.
street art type stuff.
Okay.
So,
Like where?
well, right
In
now
the
I like
city of Snellville, or
no, not in the city.
Okay.
No. But it's like some of the stuff I'll do is I'll get big sheets of plywood and
Uh-huh.
I'll paint them all white, and then I'll spray paint it, and then I'll use markers or paint or whatever to add to it. So the medium changes,
Uh-huh.
and what I use in it changes because it can be. I try not to just stick to one thing or one brush. I could use different things to come up with something new, but that's one thing I do.
Okay.
I also skate. That's another thing.
Professionally?
No,
Or
it's just
fun-
skateboarding.
just
Just for
skateboarding?
fun. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you certainly have introduced me to some things here. I did not know the art part about you, and I didn't know the skating. I mean, anything else you want to share that, anyone watching right now might have an interest in, or where can they find more information about you? Or
My Facebook page, I
Mhm.
post basically almost everything I vote on. Why I vote on it, I post it on there. City events, I post on there. Things outside the city, I post on there. So Facebook is the main one. I have my website that has all my content that's like more densely based if you want to read a lot. But Facebook is more like, just keeps going.
what's
whatever.
happening
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing I saw you post on there was when your visit with the 2 senators.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
It was well, House Rep, and then wait, were you talking about the
The
foreign
economic-
policy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
The
was Tom Price representative, and then Michelle Nunn, she ran for Senate last go around.
Okay.
But it was a charity that she runs, or a foundation she runs. But it was foreign policy talk, basically, on U.S. foreign policy, what we're doing.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, my thoughts on it, I think we've been too overreaching the last couple of, I would say almost 2 presidencies. So something like 18 years. I think we've been stretched too far, spend way too much money on the military. As far as like, it's not efficient, it's more bureaucracy, I think. And we've caused a lot of destabilization of other countries, I think. And it's led to a bunch of other crises that we're trying to fix now. But it's like, so a lot of negative stuff on it.
Well, I think a lot of people agree with you on that. But Mr. Marmol, thank you so much for spending time with us today. You say, is it facebook.com/Roger Marmol?
Yeah, just Roger Marmol, ROGERMARMOL, and then you can just, it's to my like page, it'll come up, because it's spelled just like that. It's like the only one, I think.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We were just discussing different roles that essential fatty acids play. And on this segment, we are going to be talking about focus factor and the brain. Talk about development for infants all the way up, how essential fatty acids are quite useful in those areas, not just obtaining good growth and development, but maintaining, and also dips over into our elderly citizens as well when memory retention can become an issue.
Right.
So this will really be, I believe, to be one of the more important segments. I mean, I believe cholesterol management is huge because it is part of a societal issue right now. But we also see equal parts of focus issues in children. As young as, 2 years old, we're talking about medications being thrown out for attention deficit issue when maybe there's a nutritional deficit.
You touched on something. It is amazing how young the kids are that are coming in with grown-up medications. It's I think it's a sad state, and that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. That's why we're doing this show, is to expose or to do our part in bringing some common sense health care, and not sick care and disease care, to people in our community. We also want to highlight interesting people doing interesting things, but that's a very, very good point that you brought up. And also with the seniors, as they're having memory issues or autoimmune disorders that may be causing them to forget and lose their balance and things. These essential fatty acids help with the nervous system in general, which is mostly made up of fats. And what we're discussing are essential fatty acids that help to build up that structure. So I'd like to hear what you have to say about the development and focus.
Well, starting from birth, whether a mom breastfeeds or uses formula, there are needs. And in that formula, if you read the label, and in breast milk, if you look at the studies on what is contained in that, especially the colostrum, which is the very beginnings of the breast milk when it comes in for the mom to give to her newborn, there are these essential acids that obviously we aren't going to be able to feed them anything else at that point. That's what they're eating until they get to solid food, and even then they still got to worry about what level are they getting. So it starts there. So in that process, we're talking about fulfilling up a mineral and vitamin need for the processes of the body from birth on. Even in utero, and this is happening. So when you take, she's taking a prenatal, of course she is, because, well, first of all, she's got to support herself, but everything she's putting in is going to that baby first, so she's going to have to essentially do double work. So sometimes that supplementation, well, no, all times that supplementation is needed, especially with where things are today with our food choices and whatnot. So coming from birth and coming into the learning first few years of life. We've got all this development happening, and there are several studies. I used to be of the opinion that the first, maybe 6 years were the most absorbent time for a child to learn. And what I have found in recent studies is that the learning actually continues at deeper levels. It's just that we just tend to think that, if I haven't taught them everything they need by 6, they're never going to get it. Yes, they can, because we continually learn, we continually grow. So down to the cellular level, we still need these essential fatty acids to give us the growth and development we need, protect the nervous system, keep us growing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if we have issues that disturb the nervous system, let's say, okay, this child has been told they have an attention deficit issue by their school system or by their physician. What can be done? We see that there are children that come in that are on medicine, some that are not on medicines. Either way, we have a way to come at that, to provide, fill up those holes of deficit and let the body do what it's meant to do and work with what it recognizes.
Yeah.
So what we're finding is people using chemicals rather than do the natural source. So the child still is over here malnourished, but they got the pill. So the pill may give them a temporary symptom relief.
Yeah. Yes.
And it may help them focus. And the parents are like, let's do it. But the issue is we're still causing that that malnourishment. We're also getting a little bit toxic from this medication. Our body,
bit, really.
a lot of toxic.
Yeah. Oh my
but
gosh.
yeah, so because it's day to day. It's not a pill you take once a week, once a month. It's every day. So that will certainly impede the progress of growth and development and memory retention. So even on through, you're grown now, or maybe you're in college, you still have that same expectation. Life is stressful. You've got all this going on. You need help to retain information. Again, if you're deficient, you're still going to have issues with malnutrition. So you're going to need supplementation outside of just eating, 3 good meals a day with some good essential fats. You're still going to need some supplementation. And there's lots of different sources and amounts where we get that from. Yeah, so we need that.
Okay.
We need that.
Well, I think the essential fatty acids are critical in the focus portion, primarily because it does work with the central nervous system and allows the body to calm itself down. As you mentioned in the previous, or we will be talking about in the next segment, the inflammation portion. As we become toxic and issues develop, poor diets, stress, the stress of life, cells become inflamed. And so this essential fatty acid is not only good for allowing the central nervous system to calm itself down, fire correctly, develop clearer thoughts, but it also helps to reduce the inflammation that is brought about, which we're going to get into real deep on the next episode.